Mahindra and Mahindra, the country's largest pickup truck maker, is on the verge of rolling out its 100,000 Bolero MaXX pickup truck in a matter of just 6 months. The company's pickup truck segment has been the unsung hero for the last decade or so. Even as it has grown its presence in the SUV space, it has been a key pillar as far as profitability of the company is concerned. To talk about the role of pickup for Mahindra and Mahindra and what's the way ahead, we have with us Mr. Veejay Nakra, President of Mahindra and Mahindra's Automotive Business. Thank you, Mr. Nakra, for talking to Autocar. An important occasion.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Thank you. An important occasion. I mean, the segment continues to do well for Mahindra and Mahindra. A predominant share of 70% for almost a decade now. What's the secret sauce of Mahindra and Mahindra's pickup truck journey?
Well, as you rightly said, unsung hero, a very, very important part of our portfolio and business. All the glamour goes to the SUV world, but India runs on pickups. And we are very happy and fortunate that we continue to be leaders 9 years in a row. We have over 70% market share in the pickup segment. We are the creators of the category, and every now and then we keep evolving, disrupting, and bringing something new to the market. So the recipe for success is, as a leader, we are the ones who've been bringing change to the market. We are very closely connected to our customers. We listen to them. We bring the change that they want. And we've ensured that as we sell these products, we have a network out there that provides the best service, the best total cost of ownership, and a very high level of affordability with minimum cost of service. So I think all of this put together as a product, sales, service, innovation in the category has led this brand to be a market leader since inception.
So is it a case of an early mover's advantage and also in a way, rising and growing with the Indian economy and its consumption?
I think that's a very appropriate point, Ketan, because if I just dial back to the history, when we started manufacturing automobiles, if I recollect right, it was in the late 70s, early 80s, when we made the first pickup truck in India. It was called the NC. The NC became NC 640. After NC 640, it was in the late 80s or early 90s when we created something called Mahindra Pik-Up, Pikup,
Right,
as a brand. Then that was followed by MaXX Pik-Up. MaXX Pik-Up became Bolero Pik-Up. And now, April this year, we launched the Bolero MaXX Pik-Up because we just believe that in the whole journey, Bolero and MaXX have played such an integral role in creating the category. And as you rightly said, that now in less than, while we did launch the Bolero MaXX Pik-Up, one variant of that last year, the scale up for Bolero MaXX Pik-Up happened in April this year. And in about 8-9 months, we are celebrating 1 lakh vehicles rolled down, which, to the best of my knowledge, and I think I would be right on this is the fastest ramp up to 100,000 for a load carrying vehicle in the country.
That's phenomenal. I mean, what according to you has been the reason behind market choosing Mahindra and Mahindra predominantly over its rivals? I mean, you actually compete with fierce rivals like Tata Motors and Ashok Leyland in that space. There have been multiple interventions from their end as well. Yet you managed to hold on to the space. I mean, what is it that Mahindra does differently than some of the other rivals in the marketplace who are actually large players?
Well, I think we've been able to deliver to the needs of the customer, and not only deliver, I think we've always exceeded it. Now, we need to understand in this category, the person buys the vehicle as a tool for trade, which means the ability to carry load, lowest maintenance cost, lowest total cost of ownership, which also then means highest resale value. So from the time you buy the vehicle, it needs to be a great value for money. Till the time you own it through the cycle, you must be able to generate maximum revenue and have the lowest cost so that you are able to generate higher profit. And then at the end of the ownership of the cycle, you want the best resale value so that when you get that, you're able to put that as down payment for the next vehicle you want to buy.
Right.
So we've been able to address the need of the entire ownership cycle in terms of cost, service, accessibility, and simplicity of design and product.
The customer in this space is also very different from what you see in the SUV space. Even with the way you approach customers, for long we had seen pickup trucks being sold along with your SUVs, but now as SUVs become a lot more urban, modern, and Mahindra is also kind of transforming from a brand perception perspective. How are you planning to ensure the differentiation or the customer experience? Because at the end of the day, the customer profiles are very different. So help me understand from a customer journey, the brand experience, the dealership interface, how are you evolving that?
Yeah, I think let's start from the product and then take it through the value chain. Even if you look at the product, the Bolero MaXX Pik-Up is very, very different now from the Bolero Neo. So, while Bolero was always a common brand name between the pickup and the SUV, obviously, as a part of the journey of the brand, it was pretty apparent, as you rightly said, that the buyers of the products are going to be very different. There was a time where Bolero was such a powerful brand that in the family, people owned the SUV and the pickup. They used the pickup for tool of trade, and the SUV was their personal use vehicle.
Fantastic.
But of course, as the market evolves, the customer needs are going to be different. So, when we did bring in the Bolero Neo, there was a clear breakaway that we were bringing in between Bolero as the SUV brand and Bolero as the pickup brand. And hence, while the products were different, even from a brand perspective, we brought in MaXX. And if you see the branding, it's Bolero MaXX Pik-Up, where Bolero is actually, it's even on my shirt, as you can see, Bolero is endorsing the MaXX brand.
Right.
So MaXX Pik-Up becomes the SUV brand going forward, and Bolero is endorsing it because of the heritage that the brand brings. Now, how did we take this into the marketplace? In the last 4-5 years, as a journey of evolution of customer experience, we've started carving out our showrooms, workshops, teams, dealership CEOs, the manpower at the dealership as two totally different entities. So a customer who comes in to buy a pickup, and just as an anecdote, when you go into a rural part of India, and as the SUV business was evolving, we started creating swanky showrooms for the SUV customers. Many of the commercial vehicle customers were not confident of walking into a Mahindra dealership because they felt, is this dealership for me? Will I be able to fit in that environment?
Right.
When I want to go and buy my pickup, will I be able to have the kind of conversation I want to have at the dealership? So it was very clear for us. We created a separate channel. And of course, now we have a dedicated channel. The visual identities are different. The pickup range of vehicles carries the road ahead logo, which is the earlier visual identity of Mahindra on the product and even in the signage of the dealership. And the SUV business has got the twin peaks as the new visual identity. So from brand, so let's put it this way, platform to product to brand to visual identity to experience. They are totally different.
That specialization approach has, in a way, reaped dividend, you feel, over the last 5 years.
Yes, absolutely. For both parts of our businesses, whether you talk about SUVs or whether you talk about pickup, it's allowed us to bring in the focus that we want to both the verticals of our business. And the results are clear. Whether you look at our position in SUVs, 6 quarters in a row, we were number one in terms of revenue share. Even on volume share, we are number 2. You talk about pickups, 9 years we've been leaders, and Ketan, not just in the 2 to 3.5 ton segment, but if you look at small commercial vehicles or light commercial vehicles, it's categorized as less than 2 ton and 2 to 3.5 ton. So in the entire commercial vehicle category of LCVs less than 3.5 ton, we've been leaders for 9 years, and last month we got to over 50% share in that category.
Oh, fantastic. Amazing. So it's
so for every 2 vehicles that sell in India in the less than 3.5 ton, 1 is a Mahindra.
And this is for the case of the current financial year?
That's correct.
Right. What's the way ahead? I mean, one of the key secrets that you shared with us is constantly evolving the platform, the experience. How do you take this ahead? And what's your view on the pickup truck segment per se? Many say that the penetration levels could be a lot higher given the sheer size of the economy and the load that is available to be carried for last mile.
Yeah, absolutely, Ketan. I think if you look at the India growth story, there is no reason why this category will not be a growth story in the future. Many a times what happens is we look at 3 months, 6 months data of what's happening in the industry and draw conclusions of the future. I wouldn't do that because India clearly has a growth story. India has got an infrastructure creation story. India has got a services and goods movement story. India has got a hub and spoke story going forward. So my personal view is I'm very bullish about the category growth in double digits in the next, as a CAGR growth, compounded annual growth rate over the next 5 to 7 years. The last 6 months has been a little subdued, and that there are multiple reasons. The monsoons were a little subdued, or
Yeah.
The rain period has got dissipated. We didn't get the kind of rain we had to up to September. Interest rates have been high. We've not seen the turnaround of that with high inflation. But I think these are short-term challenges which, as an economy, as an industry, and as a manufacturer, we will deal with. But I think the long-term story is a growth story. And of course, we won't be able to talk about what's in store today on the Bolero MaXX Pik-Up going forward. But even with what we've launched, we've got the widest offering for our customers, from a 1.3 to a 1.7. And again, we disrupted by bringing 2-ton into this category.
Right.
We are the first player that brought IMAX technology on pickups for our customers. We were the first players to think about the creature comforts of our customer, to give them height adjustable seat, to give them auto turning lamps while cornering. So we brought in a lot of features of value to this customer, even from the SUV portfolio for these customers. So I think the category is going to grow, and we believe that Bolero MaXX Pickup will continue to be the forerunner in the category.
What's the next step? I mean, what is the vision that Mahindra has with regards to pickup truck segment? How do you evolve this further in terms of taking it global, having electric powertrain, reaching out to last mile e-commerce players in a more concerted fashion? How does Mahindra build the pickup truck journey ahead in the future?
Let's talk a little bit first about domestic, and then we'll talk global. On the powertrains, I think India largely for now is diesel and CNG. CNG also varies. There was a period from 20 to 22 where CNG as a percentage had grown significantly. But when the CNG prices changed, we again saw that
Correction.
as a segment decline. So I think diesel and CNG will continue to be dominant fuels in the commercial vehicle segment. And that's largely because, Ketan, this is load application. In load application, you're going to need a bigger battery. The moment you go for bigger battery, economies of scale don't work. And this is a product for tools for trade.
Right.
So unless the economics work, the customer will not ship.
Right.
And that is why even now, if you see, the adoption of EVs has largely happened in the three-wheeler space.
Right.
Not even in the half-a-ton four-wheeler space. So
Right.
I think it's going to be a journey that will evolve over time as battery costs will come down, chemistries will allow for higher energy density batteries. But I think that evolution is going to take a little bit of time. Now let's talk about another category which we believe India will see, like many other international markets, is the lifestyle pickup segment.
Right.
India today does not have a lifestyle
Right.
pickup segment. You either buy an SUV,
Right.
or then you buy the tool for trade or a commercial vehicle as the pickup. We believe that the way India is evolving, the way India is seeing the other parts of the world, globally, lifestyle pickup is a very large segment. And I think as players in India, including Mahindra and many other competitors, as we will start bringing in better lifestyle products at more affordable prices, that could be a segment or a category that will evolve in the,
Right.
I would say, not immediately, but in the next 3 to 5 year or 3 to
Horizon.
6 year kind of a horizon. And then let's talk about globally. We were in South Africa. Ketan, you were there, 15th August. We spoke about our global aspirations. We are very clear that the global pickup, which is being created on an absolutely new platform, is going to absolutely new platform compared to the Bolero MaXX Pickup, is going to be our leading product of lifestyle pickup globally, where we will not only take it to our existing markets like Australia, South Africa, which are large lifestyle markets, but we would also look at newer markets in Latin America and even Southeast Asia.
Right. From a long term to, let's just say, FY24, what's your expectation? How do you see the segment? Like you said, there's a little bit of correction in the last 6 months, but the economic trajectory appears to be moving up. What's your
Chetan,
expectation?
I would say a strong double-digit growth. When I use the word strong in this category, anything between 10 to 15% is a strong growth. But again, for me, that's a CAGR probably over the next 8 to 10 years. If you look at
The current financial year?
no, and if you look at other agencies that are talking about the category, they are talking in the region of 8 to 10%.
Yeah,
So
more bullish.
like I said, I'm a little bit more bullish because of the India story. And again, Ketan, I think from whatever I have seen in the last many years, and if I just leave the COVID period out, largely the industry seems to outperform the projections that have come out. And hence, I'm with caution using their top end as my lower end.
I understand.
And I'm saying above 10%.
This year as well?
This year has been a little slow, Ketan, and I think it will continue to be. We are seeing headwinds in the category, and that's largely on account of two reasons. Rural, which is largely on account of two reasons, which is, as I said, the delayed monsoon or the monsoon not spread the way it needed to. We can see by the reservoir levels, there are only 3 or 4 states which are there. There are many states which are in shortage. That's going to have that probably may have an impact on the crop season, which has got a direct bearing on what happens in the pickup segment. And also, I think till we don't see the turning of the interest rates, because in this category, the interest rates have been high for a very long time.
Right.
So I think these two things will need to play out. So this year would probably be a little subdued. So far, if you look at it as a segment, the 2 to 3.5 ton segment has largely been flat, but I think we'll probably end the year at low single-digit growth.
Right. So from a long-term perspective, a double-digit CAGR, however, little bit of headwind here and there. So confident of
a longer-term story, and that's why I'm
growth.
saying a 10-year story.
Fantastic. Fantastic, sir. Thank you very much for talking to Autocar, and wish you all the best for your
Thank you.
pickup journey.
Thank you, Ketan. Thank you so much. Thank you. Pleasure again. Thank you.